Hit me one time. Yeah. It's the Capital City Podcast. I'm your host, Capital J, alongside my main man,
DL Glass.
And this week, we want to know, where's the love, man? Where's the love? And if you want to know where we're coming from with this, we're going to start in the beginning like we always do. Back in the day, every so often, most artists would have a song about some girl they cared about, thought highly of, or even one that broke their heart. You had LL, the most popular hip-hop love song is I Need Love. Is there any argument?
Absolutely not.
But during that time period, he wasn't the only one. You had Slick Rick talking about a teenage love.
Mm-hmm.
You had Houdini talking about one love. You're lucky just to have just one. Right. And those songs prepared you for the emotional roller coaster of a relationship.
Yes.
A real relationship, feelings involved. Fast forward to today, nobody loves anybody on a song.
Money over just.
Hey, that's what it seems to be, and not just men. I mean, women too. They promote relationships without love in them.
Yes.
So the topic is, where's the love and what happened to it? Like, when did it become a bad thing to have feelings of love for the opposite sex? I mean, we talking about one of the biggest songs of all time.
Right.
I Need Love. When I'm alone in my room,
sometimes I stare at the wall.
In the back of my mind,
I hear my conscience call.
Now, first, he said, I hear my conscience call.
Yes.
So the first thing, we ain't heard nothing about it. We ain't heard anybody say anything about having a conscience in years.
My mind playing tricks on me.
And that's years and years ago.
Yes.
He said, telling me I need a girl who's sweet as a dove. When was the last time you heard a sweet girl on the microphone? For the first time in my life, I need love.
There I was.
Giggling about the games that I have played with many hearts.
I ain't saying no names.
Now, and even then, thoughts to myself, said, look what you done to her. He's thinking back on how he was wrong.
Yes.
About being a player.
I want to hear that song now.
Take One Love, for example. This is in the song, Houdini is basically saying, we had good women.
Mm-hmm.
We messed up. The whole theme is you're lucky to have one love. It's bird in the hand beats two in the bush.
Right.
These are the lessons that one generation grew up and their idols were telling them it's okay to love somebody. Same generation that when people go back and listen to slow jams, that same era of people was singing slow jams too. Jodeci, as tough and thuggish as they look, they sang slow jams.
Yes.
And, today there's an absence of love. And I don't mean just romantic love, like, period. Mm-hmm. And I haven't heard any real love in a song. Like I say, most recently.
I got one. Most recently. Crazy in Love. Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Even that song, you talking about what, 15?
Damn, it has been that
15,
long.
20 years ago.
God knows.
Lauryn Hill wrote a song talking about how much she loved her son.
Yes.
And a lot of these artists have kids. Who's talking about how much they love their children? How long ago was that?
Yeah, because that Life of Pablo album was a couple ago, yeah.
You understand? Like, we went from an era where every artist would have one or two songs talking about love or even relationships, in the traditional sense.
Right.
To every now and then somebody might bring up love. And R&B has always kind of been the place for the love language to be spoken. So when you bring up Beyonce, that's almost to be expected of an R&B artist.
Yes.
Even though R&B artists today don't sing about love.
Right.
They got songs called No Love.
Right.
But where did we make this turn?
The 90s, man. All I need in this life of sin is me and my girlfriend. And that wasn't even about a chick. Getting my bitch by Biggie. Huh.
Right. And that song, and you know what? As rough as that song was,
it was a love song.
It was a love song.
Right. Renee, Lost Boys.
Love song.
Nas, Daughters.
Well, Nas, Nas has several.
Yeah.
Nas speaks on this topic.
That still was like 20-something years ago.
Right.
Damn.
And now there's an absence of love. And in the absence of love, I'm one of the people that says, hey, when one thing is absent, the opposite will fill the void.
Right.
If there's no light, darkness will fill the area. If there's no darkness, then the light has taken over.
J. Cole and Nicki Minaj got a new track. I can't remember the name of it, but she was vulnerable in the song.
Right. And, that's probably one of the most recent artists to talk about love is, Nicki Minaj. She had Your Love, Your Love, Your Love. Mm-hmm. And Cardi B spoke a little bit on Be Careful. Better be careful with me.
Right. Right.
True relationship songs.
Yes. Yeah.
But those are just two. Think about all these.
Those are two mainstream.
Well, I mean, that's basically what we're talking when we sit here talking.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to talk about the mainstream because, of course, there's somebody writing a love song that you're not going to hear.
Right. Because J. Cole got a few of them. Because when I heard the track where he was talking about I want to fold clothes with you, like, if they ain't love, I don't know what love is.
Yeah. Yeah, and J. Cole is always, he stands out in today's climate anyway.
Right.
But in general, there's a movement right now in music that's designed to stop the hip-hop community from loving each other.
Now, are you one of those that's going to push all the blame on the artist, or are we going to look at the totality of things? This is an air quotes agenda.
No, I always say, man, everybody's to blame.
Okay.
When things go sideways, you got a combination of environment, situations,
the man,
family structure.
Yes.
All this stuff. But rappers it's nothing new for rappers to come from tough environments. Mm-hmm. And they still spoke about love.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
And I think we're entering a dangerous place. That's why, there's a certain energy that you can feel when you walk into any room. Mm-hmm. There's an atmosphere. And when that atmosphere is dark and loveless, you don't feel safe when you're there, do you?
No.
How safe do you feel in a room full of people that grew up listening to music, being told not to love anybody?
Right.
Love is for suckers. Love is for simps.
Right.
So where we are today, a big portion of that is because there's no love in the music.
Right.
Like, nobody loves anything. I haven't even heard a song about anybody loving music. And that was another thing you would hear back in the day. Like, outside of loving your woman or loving your kids or loving the man,
right? People
talked about, I love the music.
Yes.
OJ's, I love music. Eric Sermon, tribute to music. Just like music.
Yep.
It's a love song to music.
Yes.
But even that's 20 years ago now.
Chance the Rapper raps a lot about loving his wife.
And people often say that was the downfall of his career.
That's where I was going, yo.
This is where we are now.
Right. And Chance was one of the biggest rappers in the world.
This is where we are now. If I could look up some lyrics.
Mm-hmm. Who you looking for?
I'm just looking up in general, you know, what do artists today have to say about love?
Oh, God.
Well, people still love money.
Yes.
People love fast cars. They talk about loving Hellcats. They talk about loving being intoxicated.
Mm-hmm.
None of that's healthy.
I'm in love with the cocoa.
Right. That's what your healthy relationship has been replaced with, a love for selling dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't even know how far we can go into this topic. I think that is that the beginning and the end. I mean, what else is there to say other than today's music right now? What you hear constantly is anti-love.
Absolutely. Damn. That's deep, man.
And it's bad.
It's terrible.
It's bad. So when you wonder why are people so savage out here nowadays?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for people who don't have a father or mother that's teaching them the right thing, or teachers that don't care, the next teacher is hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, the generation I came up in, we learned a lot from hip hop, and a lot of people won't admit it. They won't admit how much hip hop was a third parent. Even if you had two parents at home, you had a third parent.
Right.
But luckily for us, that third parent included people like Chuck D, you know, teaching you to love your culture.
Right.
Be proud of your culture. Tupac, before he went bad,
Right.
teaching you to love the downtrodden. Brenda's Got a Baby was a song telling you that, you know, during a time period when people would be shunned for having babies out of wedlock,
It was okay.
he was saying, hey, Tupac cares if don't nobody else care.
Right.
And for people who listen to this man as a third father figure, then that's somebody telling you that, you know, you should have love for all of our people in the community,
Right.
including the single mothers.
Right.
And, you know, T-Pain fell in love with the strippers. But
Chris Brown told us these girls ain't loyal.
but that's, you know, that's where we going.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just want to take a moment to say, if it never gets said, this is a bad place to be. It's not healthy.
Right.
It's not healthy because any social worker, if you're raising kids and you live in a house and you don't love the mother, and the mother doesn't love the father, kid's not going to come out right.
Hell no.
Because they don't have an example
Right.
of what love looks like.
Tell me about it.
And there is no example of what love looks like today. Proper love for something healthy that can do you justice in life.
Right.
Where's the love for those things? Every now and then, artists would talk about even loving the Lord.
Yeah.
You know, those songs are gone.
Yeah.
So the only thing the main thing that's being pushed right now about love is loving things that will not love you back.
Materialism, absolutely. And you know the crazy part about it, this whole 15-minute conversation, I've actually been sitting here thinking about within the last 5 years, the love song that stood out to me. And I can't think of one.
No, I can't think of a true love song. You know, even songs that sound like love songs, if you listen to the lyrics, they're not really about love.
Right.
Or not healthy love. It's toxic love.
Toxic. Like, it's a song, I hear so many people walking around humming this tune, and I hate to call it out, but it's Coco Jones' song. And I can't even remember.
Now, the I See You song got a little bit of love connotation to it, but like I said, she's
toxic.
She's an R&B singer.
It's still though, it shows. Tell me a love story on a show, a movie
with a love story in it.
I mean healthy. I ain't talking about toxic. I'm talking about healthy.
You got me.
I know. You know, talk about love stories. One of the greatest love stories I ever saw was that cartoon Avatar.
Now that was some love.
Yeah. Dudes.
Oh, wait a minute. The cartoon Avatar. I'm sitting thinking about the movie.
Yeah, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And that was some love.
Yeah, that's some serious love.
He gave up everything. You know?
Yeah. And you know something, like at its base, that song is about what you got to go through to take part in an interracial relationship.
Right. Right. You got to lose yourself.
It's like, hey, nobody's rocking with you if you're from the dominant class and you choose to be in a relationship with somebody from the other class. You lose everything.
He had to switch gods.
Hey, man, he lost it all.
Damn.
That was a love story.
Absolutely.
But, you know, I in the beginning, I thought this would be a whole long conversation. But, you know, it's not. It's simple and to the point.
Yeah.
You know, the simple fact is we're in a loveless era right now. And I figure it's a good time to point it out because if you got kids listening to this music, they're not getting the same messages out of it that we did. No. And we always had 2 Live Crew and NWA. They didn't love anybody either. You know, there was no love in 2 Live Crew and NWA, but we had plenty of other music to balance that out.
Right.
Right now, all you get is 2 Live Crew and NWA.
Right.
All day, every day.
Yeah.
No love for people around you. They teach you don't trust. Like, and part of love is trust.
Mm-hmm.
But we're taught not to trust.
Like, bro. So, the big radio show, gave NBA YoungBoy Donkey of the Day.
Is this when he was sitting there with his kids, with his son on his lap, and he was saying, "I ain't really about all this fatherhood."
It's just because you here.
The dude, yeah, right. It's just because you here, and but you know the product. Like if we saying that we have to go back 20 years to hear any artist that has any influence preach about love or sing about love or rap about love, then you know what you're seeing is the product.
Because he's only 24.
Right, he's the product of this music that's absolutely loveless.
And you know what I say, and I always say this, y'all can get mad if you want to, but I blame the damn women. Because Future got all these damn baby mamas, and women still having babies by Future.
Well, the sad thing is none of those women gonna admit that at the end of the day they were looking for love.
Oh yeah, they definitely were looking for love. It definitely was looking for love.
You see what I'm saying? But at some point, they were convinced that you're stupid to look for love. Why don't you look for a check?
Look for a check.
And I can understand, over time, there have been a lot of situations that didn't work out for people.
Right.
And they wanted one thing out of a relationship.
Yeah.
And, of course, you're going to have a percentage of people that say, hey, if you can't get love, get the check.
Get the check.
But you need some balance. Somebody has to be telling you something else. So when you look on the news, when you see the news and you see heartless acts being committed against humanity by people, you got to understand where it's coming from.
Right.
This society is loveless.
Damn.
And godless.
And godless.
By definition, they say God is love.
Right.
So no God, no love. What fills those spaces? Hate. Damn. So, it's bigger than where's the love. The hate is everywhere.
Damn. Man, we got to end this one, man. We got to end this, man.
Hey, just keeping it short and sweet.
God, no.
Hey, we're in a low point right now in the game. And we have to reverse this for all of our sakes. Damn. This is bigger than even if you don't have kids. Like, you got friends. You could be a young, say you're in your 20s right now. And the things that you had to deal with are not the things that we had to deal with.
Right. Right.
When we went out and we met people, their natural assumption was not that they would take the first opportunity to do us greasy. Mm-hmm. You assume better out of people.
Right. We say, where's the love? So I had a very recent conversation with the 22-year-old, and I had a very recent conversation with a 26-year-old. And both those conversations surprised me, their look on love and family.
What did they say?
They both were all about family. The 22-year-old, God willing, this Saturday, he will have his first child. His fiance has not worked since he found out she was pregnant 9 months ago. Mm-hmm. Because he was raised that when she's bearing child, when she's with child, that's her only responsibility. So he got a second job to make sure that she doesn't have to worry about anything else but working. All he does is go to work and go home to make sure he's there for her. The 26-year-old, ex-gangbanger, prison time, all this other stuff. And his only worry right now is how his wife is feeling being home with their 4 kids. And you know why she's at home? Because he doesn't want her to work. He wants her to devote her time to being the best woman and mother she can be to raising these 4 daughters. Society will have you thinking he would have ran out a long time ago. Society will have you thinking that the 22-year-old will be buying the new Jordans that come out. He buy the new Jordans that come out, but you know what else he do too? Invest in the stock market, so he has money, that expendable income to buy those things. And those conversations with them kind of surprised me because of their age, and I'm a victim of listening to what society puts out there instead of actually looking at these kids. And I call them kids because
you bring up a real good point. It's the imagery. The imagery is that there's no love out there when actually, we talked a while back about how when you listen to the music, you think that this is what everybody's into, and it's not.
Right. But I think that because like you said, when we were coming up, our third parent, or sometimes our second parent, was hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
So if we grew up with hip hop being that influential in our lives, how can we not think that it's that influential to other people's lives too?
But you know something? Maybe it's not. And I have to do a quick 180. When I say where's the love, I mean in the music.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think society is the garbage bag that the music would portray it to be.
Right.
You know, you have to convince people that things are a certain way to get them to become that way sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Right. And okay, so
but yeah, when I look at actual people,
mm-hmm.
when I listen to the music, I don't see any love. I don't hear any love.
Right.
I don't feel the love.
Right.
When I see people,
right,
I do see love.
So, in my opinion, the biggest female artist out right now, I'm not going to call her name, but you shot me in my pinky toe.
Uh-huh.
Every stereotype about a black female, this woman represents, in my opinion, through her music. I don't know her personally, but through her music and everything that she puts out there in social media and stuff that I see about her is heightened stereotypes. Why is she being pushed when there's so many other artists who don't have the same, that don't follow that? You know what I mean?
That's why to some degree I think there is an agenda, because I don't think that today's youth and young adults are anywhere as bad as what I saw 30 years ago.
Hell no.
But their entertainment is 10 times worse.
Yes.
So what is the real effect here? Is the lack of love in the music, is our society truly loveless? Or are they trying to convince you that there's no love out there so you won't have any?
Right.
You know, just like you'll be convinced that there are more drug dealers on the street now than there were in the late 80s and 90s when every song wasn't about drug dealing. But when you look with your eyes,
mm-hmm.
you saw more drugs in the streets than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
The music didn't reflect that.
Right.
Now, the music says one thing, but is that really what it is? So we say, where is the love? But is the love really gone? You know, I was reading a study that kids today are having less sex, less premarital sex,
right,
than they used to.
Yes.
But their entertainment is all about casual sex.
Eating the booty.
And doing hard, nasty things.
Yeah.
When the reality is that this generation of people that listen to this all the time are not having as much sex.
Yes.
As the people even 2 generations prior.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on here?
Like Miss Booty Hole Brown.
Is right. Every girl is not sexy red in the community.
Young boy told me, he said, how she get pregnant? All that she do out in the street, and she ain't using condoms.
Oh, no, she told you she don't use condoms, though.
He was like 19. He told me that. He said, what's wrong with her?
Right. So I think sometimes, like, even where I think we're all guilty, anybody over a certain age is guilty of pointing the finger at this new generation based on the image that is provided in the music and the entertainment.
Right.
When the truth of the matter is they don't reflect that at all.
Right. Talk to him.
And that too is dangerous.
Absolutely.
Because
damn, I said it.
When you're if you are not something, but everybody thinks you are,
yes,
it's just as difficult as if you are.
Like, why this lady grab her pocketbook when I get on the elevator?
Right. If you're not a criminal, but everybody thinks you are,
Right.
you're going to have the same opportunities as somebody who is a criminal.
Right.
None.
Right. Right.
So, you know, when you put these images out there and you're making music, you're speaking for your entire generation. Mm-hmm. Speaking for your peers.
Right. And
the majority of our youth today they're not selling drugs.
Right.
They're not high all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even having that much sex.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. I try and talk to more young people than I used to, because it was a certain point in my life where I was like, man, they crazy, and I don't want to have nothing to do with them. But now, if they can hold a conversation, I'll have a conversation with them. And I have conversations with them, and it has opened my eyes to a lot more, where I want to have more conversations with them, because they are not what's being pushed.
No. But I will say this, though. Those ones that are out there in the most negative environments, the negative environments that are out there are more negative than they used to be.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Yes.
So for the ones that are caught up in bad cycles, they're in a much worse place than before. But as a whole, mm-hmm. It's not all like you think it is. But if you listen to this music, you'll be convinced that there's absolutely no love out here.
And how can, like, of course there's some accountability, but at a certain age, you can't hold a youngster just as accountable as an adult on some levels, because some of this stuff, if you dangle that carrot in front of a hungry person, that person's going to reach for that carrot. And if they get that one carrot, they're going to want another carrot and another carrot. So whatever it takes to get to that carrot, they're going to keep doing that to get those carrots.
And that's why people coming in the game now feel like the only way to make it is to talk about no love. Mm-hmm. But seeing as how we're sitting here with eyes and we walk amongst community every day, there are people, like, not only is there a void, there's a need.
Yes.
And an audience.
Yes.
For music that involves love.
Yes.
You know, because these kids, they have feelings for their girlfriends and their boyfriends.
Right.
You see these TikToks.
Yep.
Where dudes get crushed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Time.
All the time.
Right.
So their feelings.
Yes.
They got feelings.
Yeah.
And they get hurt.
Mm-hmm. You see the news. Oh, but it didn't just pop him for no reason.
Who?
Name him.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Name him.
Right. So
money, drugs, or issy.
So right now, you know, we started this thing by saying there is no love. And I'm gonna pivot. There is love, but there's no love presentation. There's no presentation of love.
Right.
And that means that we're being bamboozled. Yes. If you listen, you cut on any radio station and you just go through the dial, you're going to have a country station, you're going to have a pop station, you're going to have your R&B station or your hip-hop station. You might hear some classical, some jazz. You just keep scrolling.
Right.
Oldies. The only music that talks this much about no love with this much negativity is on the urban station.
Yes.
Which is programmed towards us.
Right.
But when you walk around your community, like on Sunday, you go to church and you see people at church.
Yeah.
When I walk into a room full of black people, I haven't been to a club that's like the times of going out every weekend and hearing gunshots at the club. I don't hear that every weekend anymore. I'm older now, and I know that people still, the club still get shot up.
Right.
But what I'm saying is
they shutting them down too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like my life is in danger every time I walk into a group of people that look like me.
Oh no. Hell no.
But in any video, every time you see a group of people
you should
look like us, the video says, half these people got guns.
Yep.
And they swinging gang flags.
Yep.
But that's not what you see every time you walk out the house.
Right.
It's a very small percentage of the population.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's a fraud being perpetrated. Mm-hmm. And they lying about our community.
Right.
And the artists who keep making this music, even though this may be your life, the reason I bring up how it used to be, all of these artists came like the hip hop came from the projects. Mm-hmm. Some of the worst conditions. But they didn't just talk about the worst things they saw. They talked about being in love with women and respecting their elders and all kind of other things. Mm-hmm. So if you're an artist out here right now, all you see is not just negative.
Right. Right.
Every time, every artist that's coming out of a poor situation, like there's a recreation center somewhere. And there was somebody who sat out there and spent time teaching y'all how to play basketball.
Right.
Or somebody fed you when you were hungry.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But nobody talks about those things.
Right. Right.
So anybody listening right now, do not let this music fool you into thinking that all we have to offer is hate and hostility and negative energy. The black community is way more than that.
Right.
And that's not the only thing you see.
Right.
And that's not all our kids do.
The what's his name? D1 or whatever his name is, the quote unquote Christian rapper who called out the likes of Jim Jones and Rick Ross and all of them. They came for him because he called them out. And the first thing they said was, I do this, this, and this in the community. So you can't hold me accountable for what the music that I'm putting out because I do this in my community. Well, I disagree with that because I can hold you accountable. Because if you are what the impoverished kids look to be or look up to, and you're putting these messages out, and you're of a certain age, and that's when I really started paying attention to this guy, is because he said, I can't hold the young ones accountable because they are not accountable in the eyes of God, and their brain basically isn't fully developed. They're children. But when you reach a certain age and you still putting this out.
That's why they won't even be prosecuted fully under the law. Because they're not adults.
Right. But you're of a certain age and you're still putting this out. That bad outweighs that good. Because that good that you're doing.
Especially think about how many artists are married.
Right.
They're married. You got a wife at home and kids. And what do you talk about? Paying a girl for sex.
Right. All this other stuff. Hoes and having bad bitches and all this.
Right.
T.I.
So you're teaching you're not just teaching people who listen to the music that may need a finger pointing in the right direction to do that. You're teaching the people that listen that that's what we do.
That's what we do.
And that's not what we do.
Right. Right.
That's not what we do.
So these older artists that's standing beside these young ones who are putting out this false narratives.
False narratives.
I absolutely blame you.
Shame on you.
Absolutely. Because if you made it and you know what it is and you're still pushing this, man, middle fingers to you, man.
Right.
And I stand
right. It's
on
all
that.
damage.
I stand on that.
You know, how dare you damage the community after all we did for you.
Right.
You know, think about it.
For real.
Like, after all we did for you.
Yeah.
We supported you when you were at your lowest and most ignorant.
Right.
But now that you got a bag, you owe it to the next person to say, hey, I grew up.
Right.
And nobody grew up.
I can't call you an OG.
You know?
You know?
So, to answer the question, where's the love? The love is where it always has been.
Just gotta look.
You gotta look past the videos.
Yeah.
You gotta look past the radio. Do not let these people tell you that all we are is that all our women are Sukihanas and that they don't want love. These women want love.
Yeah.
Young men, if you listen to this, do not let this music trick you into thinking that nobody's worthy of being loved.
Yeah.
You know, there's some people out here that, you know, even you have enemies out here who may not like you, but they haven't had love.
Yep.
Never experienced it.
Never experienced it.
A healthy, positive love.
Right. Right.
And you're taught, hate that person too.
Yep.
Kill them when you see them.
Yep.
That's not the right thing to do.
I mean,
and hate, that hate is going to breed more hate.
How many times have you heard Taylor Swift or any of these white or pop, I'm not even going to say white, but the true pop artists pushing that, playing B-Pill or saying, I'd rather spend $500 than to trap you?
Nah, you don't
Pay
hear
attention,
that.
Man.
You don't hear that.
You don't hear it.
But they are creeping into the territory of not loving. You know, they're dabbling. They're dabbling with the idea of no love relationships. But it's coming.
It all has the hip hop influence around it by it.
Right.
It all has it.
So yeah. So you know why this thing started out as us saying, you know, there's no love in this music, and it's reflecting the community. You know, we right here in front of your eyes, our position has evolved. It has evolved as we've had this conversation. Because I realized, and no, the love is not gone. It's not gone at all. There's plenty of it. It's just that I got tricked too. I got tricked into thinking, from watching everything that's going on now, I got tricked into thinking that we were loveless, and we're not. And we got love for y'all right here on the Capital City Podcast. That's why we bringing these topics to you, you understand? And we see you out there. The generation is not lost. We do not have a lost generation on our hands. We have a generation that's being ignored, and the positive things they have to offer are being ignored. And if you allow these things to continue, it won't just be ignored by us. The whole world is going to see us as the images that are provided by the music industry and the entertainment industry, and that's not what we are. We're bigger than that. We're better than that, and we have love for each other. So I challenge all you artists now to make sure that the world knows that we're better than that. It's Capital City Podcast. I'm your host, Capital J, alongside my main man,
DL Glass.
The love is still here.